Can you tell me who you are and the name of your organization?
My name is Leonard Ellis. My organization is called Eyes Wide Open Hope. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Given my background and the things uh, that I used to be involved with, like gang banging, selling drugs, doing all the things that I've done in the past, going to prison, uh, that kind of made me hit rock bottom socially, economically, and also spiritually. Uh, I had a son, and I made a lot of bad choices. Like a lot of our youth right now today are making a lot of bad choices, and it came a time where uh, God opened my eyes to see uh, what my calling was. I had a calling, I had a purpose. So I then woke up just like that, and that's when I knew that there was a God. I went to my past and asked why He would use a person like me. He directed me to look at the people in the prophets in the Bible, and they weren't saints. They had to go through things to make sure they understood people, and I believe that's the same direction I had to go through. Um, I had to understand the people. I had to go through something to understand that I had to use my experiences to help redirect our youth, and that's basically why I started doing the nonprofit organization Nonprofit Movement.
What have you done in the past, as far as with your organization?
Uh, Fed those that was in need, clothed those that was in need, helped them to find jobs, mentor the youth, cater to the elderly, and a number of things, community engagements. We have done those things. I believe we started in 2014, and right now it's 2022 going into 2023. We are now in Michigan. We're in North Carolina. Next month we'll be in New York, and we're founded in New Jersey. Um, there, there's a great need to teach our children and our people about economical and social literacy. Teach them about economical empowerment and a lot of different things that schools are not teaching our youth or our people. We got to talk about this drug epidemic that's going on. We got to talk about a lot of different things. And before we get too far into uh, this video, I want the people to know what our purpose is now, what we're striving for now, and we're striving to open up two centers, one in New York and one in New Jersey, filled with different programs that's needed, that's going to cater to the youth, and that's going to cater to the elderly, but most of all, cater to all walks of life in our community. We need meaningful programs. We need programs that's going to do what needs to be done. We don't want to just get assistance. This is why we're raising the money on our own to show people that we need to do these things, and we're not just doing it to get money. We're doing it to get the money to open up this facility, to do the programs that needs to be done in our community. Uh, I have my friend Saeed Cleveland that has a lot of video equipment and audio equipment to start a program inside of the organization that's going to teach them how to make movies, how to make commercials, how to do a lot of different things that's needed. And we're going to have a lot of other programs there that's going to teach our children different trades, drug programs, mentorship programs, programs for the elderly, where we put elderly in charge to tell us what it is that they need. We don't need our elderly sitting home um, just waiting to die. They're still alive. There's no need for us to just sit around and they can't do anything but stay in the house. So I'm focused on doing these things. I'm about people over money and legacy over anything else.
I see you be giving people their flowers while they're still here. What makes that so important to give them their flowers and award them with ceremonies while they're still here versus after they're gone?
Well, when you ask that, we have an event that we try to host every year to recognize grassroots um, people, organizations, whether it's those that do it through spirituality, those that do it through organizations, those that do it just because. We give them this award called the Eyes Wide Open Hope Black Wall Street People's Choice Awards because a lot of people don't do it for accolades, but me myself, I look at the people and I want to award them because there is a need for people to recognize the goodness in the other people that give from themselves so freely. So we came up with that award ceremony, and I think this will be our fourth one that we are doing. Um, People do great things in our community, for the people in our community, and I just want to recognize them. Sometimes I get emotional when a lot of people get overlooked because they don't have the funds or the means to do all the things that the other people doing, and they just some of them do it just for the money, but Eyes Wide Open Hope do it for the love of the people, and because the people are doing it for the love of the people as well, and this is why we give them these awards because they they're affectionate and they're consistent about being there for the people.
Now, you are in a couple of different cities. Eyes Wide Open Hope, should I say, is in a couple of different cities. What made you want to expand into what, like Detroit, Georgia, South Carolina? No, what made you want to go into all of these other cities, and what cities are you in? And then what's next on your agenda?
Well, we're in actually North Carolina, Michigan. Uh, Next month we'll be in New York, and we are in New Jersey. The reason why is because we want to make sure that we reach the masses with information that's going to get them to understand that there's more to life than just settling. A lot of our people settle because they don't think they can do better. Our message is to let them know that they can do better. And if they apply themselves, they have organizations like Eyes Wide Open Hope that's going to get behind them, push them, motivate them to doing the things that needs to be done so they can elevate in life. Because a lot of people, it's sad to say, but of color, they hold the knowledge and they take that knowledge to the grave. But with Eyes Wide Open Hope, the knowledge that we obtain, we're going to share that. The monies, the wealth that we obtain, we want to share that information on how we got the money. We want to share those things. This is what a lot of other races is doing. They're sharing the knowledge, they're sharing the wealth, and they're doing it in a fashion of unity. So I believe everybody that's unified is going to increase in wealth socially and economically. It's sad to say that a lot of black people don't trust each other. It's been a pattern for years, and I believe that a lot of it stopped when we had the integration and the segregation. When we were segregated, we were okay because we understood that we had to spend money with each other for us to maintain and grow. But once we got integrated, we forgot about how to support one another. We forgot the unity within the community because now we can go buy Gucci, we can go buy all these other different names and fashions that didn't support us. Um, we became the pack racks for other nationalities and businesses except for our own. And this is why I believe our wealth has decreased, our unity has decreased because we have decreased morally when it came to supporting one another.
Some people try not to move because when you move, I hear all of that.
Okay.
Okay. Some people would say from your last statement that you would rather segregation than integration, and they would say that that's racist. Do you think that's racist, or just a part of no? What do you say to the people who think that last statement about integration and segregation? You would want us to be segregated. Do you think that's racist or no?
It's not so much of being wanting us to be segregated. It's the fact that we need to get in the fact of being able to support one another again, being able to bring back our brand of economic growth. It's not anything about being segregated because we are integrated now, but you still have different things that needs to be done. You have the Jewish community doing what they doing. You have the Hispanic community doing what they doing. The Mexican community doing what they doing. What's wrong with black people doing what should be done for their own? So if anybody know me and can embrace the truth within the human reality, then they know that what I'm saying isn't wrong. The truth of the matter is that I'm not going to be apologetic for the things that I'm saying because it has to be said. Um, you got high profile celebrities that can't say certain things. You have high profile actors that can't say certain things and won't say certain things. But me here on the grassroots, I'm going to say the truth. I'm going to speak the truth within our reality. I'm going to let the people get to understand that unity within our own people is a must. So um, if people feel any type of way about what I said, then that's their right. But it's also my right to let them know how I feel about the conditions about our people socially and economically.
What's the importance of home ownership?
Uh, in my opinion, um, home ownership it gives you the right to own your own, to have your own as your own. Basically, if you don't have your own, you're subject to somebody evicting you. You're subject to them going up on your rent. You're subject to them doing home inspections and different things of that nature. Um, so to have your own, uh, it's just like you can go into your own house. You can feel comfortable about saying that you own something. A lot of people just don't own nothing. Um, so I'm advising people to do their best to own where they lay their head at, whereas though they pay a mortgage instead of rent. A lot of people don't understand that once somebody else buys up these properties, you at the mercy of them renting you the apartment or not. And this is a growing epidemic of, there's a growing epidemic of homelessness, in my opinion.
How many people are in your organization?
Uh, Truthfully, I can't count how many people was in our organization, being as though we are spread it out um, in so many different states. But there are uh, quite a large number of people in our organization throughout the country.
What do you need to make more of an impact on your community?
I need people to wake up. I need people to understand that because they say we free doesn't mean we're free. I need them to look at what freedom is. I need them to understand where we came from. I need them to look at the past to understand the present. And they say that our children right now know our future. The way our children are growing right now, we don't have much of a future. To impact them, they need to know themselves. They need to know where we come from in order to know where we need to be going. Um,
Do you have a plan to get that emotion? And if you do, what is your plan?
Well, a lot of people are bent on social media. A lot of people.
Start that over. Do you have a plan to get that emotion? And if so, what is your plan?
A lot of people are kind of bent on social media. So we will be more so focused on getting these things on a lot of different platforms, social media platforms, because there is a need um, for this information to get out by the masses. And if you uh, know other people that also have platforms, you share these things on their platform with their understanding that there's a need for us to unite each other's platform with information that should be transformed from one platform to another platform to get us where we need to be at, so the masses can see these messages, so the masses can understand that we need to use black-owned banks, use black-owned companies, use black-owned farms, use black-owned distributors. There's a lot of things that we can do to grow us as a people, socially and economically, and I think that we need to get on that platform as soon as possible, like yesterday, because there is a massive need for us to grow. Uh, or if we don't, we're going to continuously grow in the cemetery and the prison system.
Where do you see Eyes Wide Open Hope in the next 5 to 10 years?
I see Eyes Wide Open Hope as a people's organization as I see it today, but I see it on a larger scale, whereas though we are opening up homeless shelters, drug programs, rehabs, um, resource centers all over the country, um, helping centers. I'm also a minister, so um, I implement a lot of different things through religious-based programs and different things of that nature because without God, in my opinion, we will remain stagnated. And when I say that on a whole lot of different levels um, of understanding what religion is. Um, Religion goes a lot of different directions for me. Um, I'm Baptist, but you have a lot of other different denominations. I'm sorry, denominations of religions. So a lot of people will say, well, what makes you think your religion is the best religion? I'm talking about God in general. My religion is my religion, and I'm focused and I'm set on my religion. But I'm talking about religion in general, as far as God. Um, I don't want to take God out of the equation when it comes because you're not Baptist. I'm just going to not deal with you when it comes to religion. Um, if you're Muslim, if you're Buddhist, uh, I just want our people to live right and trust in God to get you whatever your God may be. Trust in Him so He can get you to where you need to be at. Um, I'm gonna speak about what I love about my religion, but I'm not gonna try to take away from yours. So continue to love God first, and then everything will fall in place.
What would you say to people who say, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in politics?
Uh, I would say to each his own. The one thing that you don't get into, which I won't get into, is the debate um, in politics nor religion, because at the end of the day, is that's all it's going to be is a debate, and then what you're going to do in that situation in regard is to agree to disagree.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your background and why you became a minister?
Sure. I was born Christian. Um, I grew up Christian. But growing up, you sometimes deviate, and as children, we deviate, and start doing different things. Uh, growing up, I got in trouble. My mother sent me away to live with my uncle, which was an ordained minister, Leonard Ellis, and I went to stay with them. My aunt Dawn, and they instilled some values in me, and they would teach me these different things that you know I held on to over the years. But over the years, I grew up, and I grew out of some of the things that they had instilled in me, and I went my own path. I went to selling drugs, and just getting in trouble. So uh, by me doing that, I kind of swayed away from Christianity, and then for years and years and years, I would get in trouble with the law, with people doing mischievous things, doing more than mischievous things, gang banging. Experienced a lot of things in my life, a lot of things that I'm not proud of, and hurtful to some people, hurtful to myself, hurtful to my mom. Um, by me doing these things, I neglected my children. By going to prison, they was basically being raised without a father. So it just took for me to come to a point where God had to intervene um, and showed me my life. It was like a flash. Like they say, you see your life flash before you die. Um, I didn't see it. I didn't see a flash. I got shot 2 different times. I had got shot in the ankle one time. Then the next time I got shot in the stomach. And a couple years later, I decided to start a nonprofit organization. And of course, me starting a nonprofit organization, I got back in the church, a Baptist church, with Pastor Paul Graves. Um, Met me in the streets, and me and him clicked it, and I started going to his church and doing the organization, and then got into the Word and felt it in my spirit that I needed to do more. My pastor would say that I was already a minister. I was already ministering to the people in the streets on one level, and then a couple years later, I became a minister. Continued to minister to people in the street, continued to minister to people online, just continued to minister with the people. There's a form of a lot of ministries. You can minister in so many different levels in so many different ways. But when God gives you a calling, He gives you a calling to do some great things, and that's what God has done for me. So I'm going to combine all these things: my ministry, my organization, and different people.
So, what is your role within the church and the community, and what do you enjoy most about it?
My role in the church is to just be a good servant of God. My role in the community is to be a good leader. What I enjoy most about it is making a difference, being for real about what it is that I do.
How do you balance your duties as a minister with your personal and family time?
When you look at it, there's really no balance. You don't have to balance that out. They all go together with hand in hand. Uh, you minister to your family every day. You do what you do in your personal life because ministry is my personal life. My family is my personal life, so they all go together. There's no need to try to balance those things out. God is the balance, in my opinion.
Can you describe a typical day in the life with Mr. Eyes Wide Open Hope?
Well, sometimes, you know, trying to appease everybody comes with conflicts, comes with disappointments, comes with uh, letdowns. I realize that a lot of people not going to like you. A lot of people not going to believe in you. A lot of people not going to stand with you. But as long as I stand with God, I believe everything is going to be fine. I want people to understand that this role that I play is not an easy role. It's not. It's not a role that's full with all the the glams and fames and things of that. It's work. It's work because you have so many naysayers. You have people that just gonna come at you and try to get you to come out your character just to see if you still that have that old you in you. I am me. Um, I'm not perfect. I'll still make mistakes. Um, but you have to realize that when you in the public eye, when you in another lane, you have to tell yourself that you can't do a lot of different things. You can't say a lot of different things. You can't be judgmental when it comes to a lot of things. The only thing you can do is think before you open your mouth. It came a time when uh, I had a friend, well, I still have a friend, Saeed Cleveland. He uh, he put a post up, and I commented, and then somebody else commented, and then I went ballistic. I said some off the wall stuff to this one guy, but it stayed on there, and they were like, "Ain't you the founder and the CEO of an organization? How do you talk like this, that, and third?" And it just kept coming back to bite me. So it took a long time for me to understand, but because I was stuck where I was at, I was just like, I don't care. I was really upset about this one thing that this guy had said when it came to, I believe, a black person getting shot by the police. Uh, I I love my people, um, but this guy had brought me so far out of my character. When I lost it, I've learned that you can't do those things. Um, it does more harm than good. So that was a learning lesson for me.
What do you believe are the most important qualities for a minister to have, and how do you try to embody those qualities?
Good character, being consistent in who you are, and not deviating um, from the path that God put you on. A leadership role is a role that shouldn't be taken lightly. When you work for God, you got one of the better jobs than the president because you work directly for God. You have to do what it is that you know is right. You have to. There's no cut corners with that. When you know the word, when you know God, and they say God is in me and God is with me, I believe that wholeheartedly. So um, I'm right there. That's where I'm at. I can't do anything else but do what God directs me to do. I can't do what Leonard want me to do, what Mr. Eyes Wide Open want me to do. I have to do what God wants me to do in the course of doing the things that I have to do with my organization, with my family, with my friends, with my associates, with everything that I stand for. I had to stand for God first because that's who leads my direction. That's who gets me to stay on my path. I realize that Satan is very busy. He does not like what it is that I do. So he's going to send all type of distractions and temptations to get me to deviate. Um, I'm just where I'm at because this is where I belong. I've learned a lot of different things through the course of my life to prepare me um, for the different things, the temptation of women. So God gave me a woman that all my desires go towards. There's no temptation because any temptation I have comes from my lady. So outside of that, there's the next thing is money. I realize that no matter how hard times get and things get, God will provide your every need. So I'm focused on knowing those things.
Can you talk about a specific time when you felt that your role as a minister made a positive impact on someone's life or the community?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I do these things on Facebook that I call messages from Minister Ellis, Leonard Ellis. And every day I come on there and I put these messages. One of the messages is what came from my brother, Isaac Turner, my biological father's son. Uh, I won't go into details of what prompted him to say some of the things that he said, but he, as my brother, allowed me to know that I made an impact in his life. Um, he looked at where I came from to where I'm at now and listening to the messages that I put on Facebook, and a lot of other people listen to them, and they're inspiring, and it helps a lot of people. Um, so that's one thing that I could say, help people to redirect their thought process.
Can you discuss any challenges or obstacles that you faced in your role as a minister and how did you overcome them?
Um, Not really. It's just one time my mom, she had said about me being ordained, that I had to, take it serious. My daughter one time she kind of didn't, believe. Um, I wouldn't say she didn't believe in me, but given my track record with my children, it gave them some type of skeptic. They was very skeptic. But my daughter was. My mother kind of didn't understand. Um, but we actually have to do certain things for people to understand uh, your calling is real. So those are the only two things. But it encouraged me to be real and be consistent on who I was. When God give you a calling, you gotta answer, and I answered it.
How do you stay spiritually nourished and connected to your faith? And how do you help others do the same?
Well, there's a group of people. There's a group of people that I'm affiliated with: pastors, ministers, apostles, um, family. Um, I got some pastors in my family, and we stay connected in the Word. So we actually we stay connected like that. Uh, it's just a help group when it comes to being people of God, um, and it's needed. It's needed because it encourages you to continue the good fight, and I'm going to continue the good fight because it's a good fight. When you're fighting against those that don't believe, that don't have that understanding of why you do what you do, it makes it more even better when you can just tell them, I love you. When you can tell another man, I love you, without feeling funny to say that. Like I tell my friends all the time, I love them, whether it's male or female, because love is God. So that's that.
What message or advice do you have for others who are considering a career in the ministry?
Talk to God. A lot of times we get um, these voices, these feelings, but a lot of times they don't come from God. It's the other side. So when you basically want to um, uh, be in ministry, just make sure that it's coming from the right place and that's in your heart, it's in your spirit. You can feel it. You know the difference because um, God will reveal Himself to you when it's that time.
What message would you give to someone who's seeking guidance in their faith?
Find you a mentor, a spiritual mentor, and confide in them. I mean, that's the only type of information I can give you.
Is there? I ain't got it yet. One more question. Is there anything you would like to say to close out this part of the interview?
We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do spiritually, socially, and economically. In order for us to build together, we got to be able to work together. So my whole thing is to understand where we got to be at in life. So just continue to understand that we need to grow, and we need to grow rapidly because we're so far behind so many other nationalities, so far behind. And if we don't catch up, if we don't stop playing checkers and start playing social, economically, and spiritual chess, we're going to be the one that get checkmated. That's it.
Would you like to give any shout outs to anybody? Like any names you want to drop? Any well wishes you want to say something to? Birthday wishes?
I want to definitely shout out God first. I definitely want to shout out my wife, Tanya. I want to shout out my mom, Dorothy Marie Ellis, my brother Frederick Ellis, my sister Jamira Ellis, my brother Sean Jabbar Ellis. I want to shout out my children definitely, with the hope that God continues to bless them and guide them. I want to shout out my family. I definitely want to shout out Saheed Cleveland for doing this interview. A great brother, great friend, great father, soon to be married, and my best friend Tariq Powell. I pray that everybody's listening to this interview understand that it wasn't the things that I said, it wasn't said out of malice. It was said out of the best interest of our people. And I want to shout out the people in the struggle that keeps fighting the good fight on all levels.
That's it.
That's it.